evening, neighbor. I'm out here in Gallatin National Forest, just spending the evening watching the sunset and just all the beauty around. The clouds they're really pretty tonight. Today is August 9th, 2025. It's been a little chilly the past few days compared to it's been in the 90s for quite a while, and which is to be expected. It's high desert, the Yellowstone area. I'll give you a quick view of the clouds. I'm going to need to put a jacket on pretty soon because it's pretty chilly. Tonight I am drinking a pu'er, and I don't remember what it is called, but I remember that it was the tea trees that the pu'er came from. They were over 100 years old, and the picking of the leaf, it was from 1999, and the cake was finally pressed in 2004, and so it's a very earthy, dark brew. I'll give you, hopefully you can see that. Over the course of the past, I don't know, few weeks, maybe longer. I don't know. Um, I've felt very much lost. Um, we're just sort of caught up in a swirl of just all the events and really just sort of coming home to go to bed and feeling like I haven't been able to get out to hike as much as I've wanted to, which is strange because I have gone out to hike um, nearly every weekend. Um, there was only one weekend where I just sort of rested and did laundry and I don't know. I felt very. There's a lot of things that I feel, and I'm not really sure how to put them into words or whether it is good to put them all into words sometimes. Um, just because I guess emotions, um, I guess one way of seeing emotions is that it's a gauge that tells you um, that something's off or something's wrong. And so if there's like pain in your leg, or if there's a toothache, or if there's a sadness that you feel when you wake up, or an excitement that you feel when you wake up, or just sort of like a nihilism that you feel when you're coming toward the end of the day. Just all these things that I've felt before. Um, it's a gauge to tell me that I need to do something, or I need to offer up something, or just relinquish something, or um, ask for something. But yeah, I've I'm not entirely sure. Um, I guess part of it is just coming from the the fact that my 31st birthday was this past week, and I've always heard. I guess I haven't always heard, but I heard in the past few years that the 30th birthday is I guess one of those special birthdays, or just one of those birthdays where I guess I don't know specifically what to call it. And I guess I'm not sure entirely if it's the same for everyone. Um, but I guess I've heard of a thing called the second innocence. I've also heard the third innocence. Um, and I guess that's something that I'm more and more trying to embrace. My understanding of it would be that as children, we're born into the world, and we're given we have this innocence to us, and we're given, like, I mean, we're not, I mean, I guess we're not given, but just in our being children, um, I mean, we're innocent. Like, we don't know. Um, oh, there's so much that we don't know. Um, we're innocent. We're clean in our hmm, I don't know, this I guess this rubs or this yeah, this causes some friction for me just in what I've been taught and what I hope. Um, I guess there are some Christian denominations, or there are some Christian teachings, or theologies, or Christian backgrounds, I don't know what to call it, that say that we're born into depravity, that we're born into sin. And I can think of a few Psalms that mention this, where the psalmist says, like, Lord, I was born into sin. Um, I guess that doesn't necessarily mean like depravity. I don't know. Um, I guess part of me is afraid of being labeled a heretic. um, because that's how vicious Christian circles can be. Um, People are not willing to think or doubt their theology or see their theology from a greater perspective. Um, and maybe I'm just bonkers. um, but there's an innocence. I mean, I guess if we want to point to depravity, um, and just diminish people completely, or if people want to point to that and diminish people by saying you were born into utter sin, um, well, then I think we can point to one of Jesus's teachings, which says that um, if you want to enter the kingdom of heaven, you must have the heart of a child. You must become like a child. And so there's an innocence that a lot of adults they take for granted um, in children, and a lot of adults they try to stomp that out, and they're successful at stomping that wide-eyed wonder out. Um, and if it's not the parents, it'll be the world, or I don't know. It doesn't have to be any of that. I'm certain that we can hold on to this um, and relearn that innocence. So I guess back to the second innocence. Um, it's I guess having experienced all of the hardship of the world, um, coming up here on my 31st birthday, um, coming up into my 31st year on this planet. Um, I'm hoping to experience more of that second innocence. Um, the Creator redeems all of our wasted years. And I don't know, I'm really frustrated by all of the years that I've been completely clueless as to what to do. Like, I've had the compass pointing north, but um, and I've seen the great light. And looking back on all of my years up to this point, um, it's interesting how light is what remains, love is what remains, goodness is what remains, and the pruning of life just sort of happens without me knowing it. Or I guess part of me does know it, just in that I'm sure that a lot of the pain that I feel when I wake up, or a lot of just the day-to-day hardship and sorrow that I feel, like I'm certain that that's part of that pruning, just feeling that brokenness in the world, brokenness in me, or beginning to feel um, about things just in different ways. Um, I guess I understand that as a part of that pruning. But it's hard. Um, it's hard. I'm thinking of Bob Dylan's album No Direction Home. And I guess in some ways, the direction home, or the path home, or the straight and narrow path is, in some ways, it's knowing what you know and then not knowing what you don't. Um, but it's strange. Um, it's very strange. Where does all this come from? Who has been involved? question of will the wrongs ever be set right? The, the question of how have I done wrong, not even having known that I've done wrong. There's a veil of insincerity that I feel covers over a lot of our communion as people. And in communion, I'm talking about our interactions with just anybody and everybody. There's a veil of insincerity that in which like the truth becomes a joke, or the a serious comment becomes a punchline, or people think that I guess people can't accept hurt and pain, and so they laugh at it. And I don't know if that's good or bad. Um, it's wrong to do wrong, but it feels that we're so far in the pit as a species, as a culture, as a people, that we're stuck treading on shallow ground, or we're stuck and unable to even take ourselves seriously. Um, and the only way for us to be whole and holy is to feel the hardships of life. So yeah. I think back on I guess it was my second job. I remember um, it was at a restaurant, and I just remember a few times at that restaurant where I had days where I just I just wanted to like faint, um, but I would always push forward because I guess I felt it was my duty to push on through um, and work for the man. And I'm wondering if the natural response in times of stress, um, the sane, practical response when you're stressed is to go to bed. Um, I don't know. So much is made on so much hype is made about endurance and perseverance and the character that builds and the growth and I don't know. So much is made, like so much, it's made, it's a big deal. Um, and I don't think it's entirely wrong. Um, but sometimes sometimes the sane thing to do is to go to bed. Um, I remember being at my second job all those years ago. Um, over 10 years ago now. Um, and I guess part of me wants to leave that situation. And another part of me wonders if I'm still in that situation or if I've accepted the futility in some ways. Or maybe I've learned something new or something different. I don't know. I guess at the time I was thinking um, I had to go to work because I saw it as like this is something I need to do in order to grow up. This is something I need to do because I'm an adult now. This is something I need to do because I'm out of high school. Um, and I guess now I see it more as this is like I work a job. I have a job because it provides for the life that I live or the lifestyle that I live, or it provides for the fun things that I can do, or it allows me to do fun things. Like I get to make food with that money. I get to travel and put gas in my tank with that money. And I guess all those years ago, I was seeing it more as I have to do this. And now I'm seeing it as I get to do this. Um, but there's still just always that tension for me. I don't know if that tension will ever go away, or even if I wonder if I'm creating the tension by even focusing on it. But um, I guess one of the tensions for me is just the pollution that I'm contributing to. Um, just in the fact that a lot of what I buy at the store is wrapped in plastic, and being someone who just loves to spend time outdoors, it makes me sad that there are places that are desecrated by the the convenience of plastic items and the throwaway, the disposability of that convenience. Even just putting gas in my vehicle, like, I don't know. It's a beautiful evening. And so I think back, I mentioned it a few weeks ago. Um, or a few videos ago. I think of the vanity of youth, or there's the verse in Ecclesiastes which talks about how the dawn of life is vanity, and it sort of appears to us, um, and then things, I suppose, if we let them, things slowly get sorted out by the Spirit which is greater than us, the Father of light. Things slowly fall into place, I guess, if we let them. Um, there's an ease to walking the straight and narrow path, which doesn't often get talked about in a lot of, I don't know, what to call them. Um, but Jesus himself, he says that he tells us to take his yoke upon us. For his weight is easy and his burden is light. Um, and I guess one of the ways that I see that is that it's the most practical thing possible for us. It's the most reasonable thing for us to pick up. Everything else is not worth our time. Um, the clouds are about to do a thing, and it looks really beautiful. I suppose one way of saying it is that some people they take on jobs. Um, they, they take up jobs They take up identities, different words, and different thoughts about themselves. Um, People take on relationships, people take on there are so many things. And maybe there's a hint of truth to a lot of that, or to some of that. Maybe there's a little sliver or a little shimmer of truth to that. But I guess the most honest of the identities, or I don't even want to say identity, or the most honest thing to take up is that of Christ, or I am. I am. Not in a sense that we might think of it, but in the sense that I am has made us. And so as I think about where I've been, where I am, what I feel, and the mystery of where I could be, where I will be. Um, it's interesting. It's just very interesting to me. Um, because God has led all of it. Without me even having known it. I don't know. So much of the world, or so much of the place that we live in, says that we need to plan, we need to see things, we need to understand 40 years into the future. And there is wisdom to all of this. But there is also wisdom in understanding that we cannot see 40 years from now. And worrying about the future doesn't add a single bit, single little thing. Like, even planning for the future doesn't add or necessarily add a single bit of security. Um, I've felt so much. I've experienced so much. I've wanted so much. I've come to understand so much to the point of misunderstanding. I've seen the truth only to go blind. And it leaves me wondering where all this is headed, but also comfortable with the idea it doesn't matter where this is headed. I know where it is, and I know where I am already, and I know that I will always be in the Father's presence. I could go on, but I know I need to close up this video. I think getting um, it's getting a little chilly, and this video is getting long. Um, Thanks for tuning in and listening to my thoughts. I pray that you would know the light, that you would step into the light, that the light would know you, that you would allow yourself to be known by the light. I pray that you would be able to understand the light, that you would not be blinded by the light, that you would understand just how beautiful it is, just how it's shining all around. It's shining all around you. I pray that you would know the love of the Father, that you would know the truth of the Spirit, the presence of the Spirit, and that you would be set free by you'd be set free by the gift of Jesus' sacrifice. Have a great evening.